Okay, so imagine this. Imagine you reach the absolute top of your field. We're talking fame, power, a guaranteed amazing future, and then you just choose to walk away from it all. Well, today we're diving into the incredible true story of a man who did exactly that, Lin Jingyuan, a figure who came to be known as the Bodhisattva Scholar. And really, it all boils down to this single powerful piece of advice from his teacher. This one sentence, this right here, would become the compass for his entire life, and it would guide him to make a decision that, believe me, nobody saw coming. It's a question we all think about, right? Is it about power? Is it about prestige? Or is it something else, something deeper? The story of Lin Qingyan, well, it offers one of the most profound answers to that question you might ever come across. So let's set the scene. Our story begins way back in the Song Dynasty with this brilliant young man who is literally standing at a crossroads, and he's about to make a choice that is going to echo through the centuries. So meet Lin Xingwan. And I mean, this guy wasn't just smart, he was a total phenomenon. His essay on the needs of the people was already legendary. And then he goes and aces the imperial exams, earning the title of Zhuangyuan. That's #1 scholar in the entire empire. Everyone, and I mean everyone, from the emperor on down was looking at him thinking, that's our future prime minister. So the path forward seemed obvious, right? A golden road paved straight to power and prestige in the capital. But then another path is about to open up, a muddy, difficult, thankless path of service in a place completely ravaged by disaster. The choice between these two paths, well, that's what would define him. Now, the thing that triggered this choice wasn't some grand decree or a big political maneuver. Nope. It was a single, devastating letter. On the very night before he's supposed to get this amazing appointment, a letter shows up. It's from the Huaxi region, a place that was just suffering. First, a catastrophic drought, and then right on its heels, a deadly plague. The letter was from an old friend, a local official there, and the words were just filled with this utter despair. He's saying, we talk a big game about serving the people, but I'm useless here. He feels like a failure. And reading this, Lin Qingyuan couldn't sleep. The weight of his own incredible success suddenly felt so hollow in comparison. And in that long, dark night, his teacher's words came back to him. That stuff about the Bodhisattva heart, that pure, selfless compassion to help all beings escape their suffering. And just like that, everything clicked. His purpose wasn't in some fancy office in the capital. It was in the mud, with the people who needed him most. So the very next day, he does the unthinkable. He goes before the emperor, kneels down, and turns down the most coveted job in the entire empire. Instead, he asks to be sent right into the heart of the plague zone. The court was absolutely stunned. The emperor himself, moved by this, warned him of how hard it would be, but Lin Qinyuan's mind was made up. And just like that, the top scholar in the land traded his fancy silk robes for simple cloth and walked straight into what was basically hell on earth. The place he was sent, Qingzhou, was a complete nightmare. The land was barren, people were starving and sick, and their eyes were just empty of all hope. And the local elites? They just saw him as some naive scholar, probably there to polish up his resume before heading back to the capital. They were all set to just ignore him. But Lin Qinyan's very first act shocked every single one of them. He completely refused the comfortable mansion they'd prepared for him. Instead, he built a simple straw hut and lived there, right alongside the doctors and monks who'd also come to help. He wasn't there to rule over them. He was there to serve with them. See, for Lin Qinyuan, having a bodhisattva heart wasn't about just handing out bags of rice. It was about restoring people's dignity. It was about building systems so people could save themselves and giving them a real reason to believe in tomorrow. I mean, this was basically a blueprint for sustainable community recovery centuries ahead of its time. He didn't just fight the plague and the famine. He began the slow, incredibly difficult work of healing the entire community, right from the ground up. And his strategy was just brilliant. He used the disaster relief funds to pay the victims themselves to build irrigation canals, which would tackle future droughts. He started workshops to give families a trade, a way to earn a living, and, maybe most importantly, he founded a school, investing everything in the next generation.
At one point, a wealthy local gentleman accused him of wasting money on these canals instead of just handing out cash. Lin Qingwen just calmly explained his vision. He said, "Look, I'm not just trying to fill stomachs for a day. I'm trying to make sure the fields will be full for decades to come." His logic, delivered with this gentle wisdom, it started to win over even his harshest critics.
20.
Yeah, that's how long he stayed. 20 years. The brilliant young star of the empire became a gray-haired old man, completely devoted to this one community, Qingzhou. And in all that time, he never once wrote to the capital asking for a transfer or a promotion. Not once. He had found his life's work. But you have to wonder, right? How would the world he'd left behind, that world of politics and power and prestige, how would they judge this incredible choice? Well, eventually, that question would be answered. Eventually, a new imperial censor was sent from the capital to investigate. And the official question on the table was this: had the empire's top scholar totally wasted his talent out in this remote backwater? The censor, he arrived expecting to find a failed man, full of regret. But instead, he found this thriving, vibrant community and a man who was totally at peace. When he was asked if he regretted not seeking higher office, Ling Qingwen gave this powerful answer. He basically redefined progress, not by titles or wealth, but by the happiness and prosperity of the people he served. That censor went back to the capital, deeply moved, and when the emperor heard the full story, he posthumously honored Lin Qingyan with the title of duke, and he renamed the entire region Qingyan County, so that his name and his sacrifice would never be forgotten. The local people, they built a shrine for him, and on it, they carved this perfect summary of his life. It says his body was in the mud, but his soul was enlightened. And it leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? In a world that so often measures success by what we gain for ourselves, what might be possible if we measured it, like Lin Qingyan, by what we give away?